It is now official. If you live in the United States of America, then you need to heed this warning immediately. And why do I say that? Because the NOAA has officially issued an extreme heat warning for the U.S. as a large heat dome builds across the central and eastern U.S. through the July 4th holiday. It basically means that the entire United States of America will have temperatures that average well above 100 degrees in almost every single state. Have a look at the jet stream and how it's forming the heat dome basically around the entire United States. Take a look at the real field temperatures as well, what the heat index is going to make it feel across the US, all the way through the July 4th holiday weekend. And forecasters are predicting a double heat dome across the US, with one setting up on the West Coast and the other setting up on the East Coast. Both high pressure systems will trap the heat and humidity in the same place. And basically, this puts over 200 million people in the bullseye for this extreme heat. And this is a warning that everyone should heed right here from the National Weather Service. They warn that increased risk of heat-related illness, and they urge you to prepare now by staying hydrated and limiting your outdoor activity. And as predicted by many, this can and will be a very dangerous situation for many people. So plan ahead and heed this warning. And this is in effect from June 30th all the way through July 4th, with temperatures all across the United States reaching well above 100 degrees. In most cases, the temperature is only going to go down to 80 at night, which gives it a nice launching pad to get up well over 100 during the day. And just to add a couple of footnotes to this extreme heat warning, don't forget to check in on the elderly and those that can't get around like we can. And also, if you're taking your dogs out for a walk, don't make it a long walk. Bring water and make sure they get back into a cool area quickly. And if you have outdoor cats, try to get a hold of them now and bring their little butts in as well too. And one more note that I think needs to be said, because there's so many stories about this. Do not leave children unattended in a hot car. Please. Common sense for all. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Under a heat dome, and it's only getting worse. Europe is burning. Since late May, a deadly heat wave has been suffocating an entire continent, and right now, it's at its worst. France, Spain, UK, Germany, Italy, all of them breaking temperature records that stood for decades, some for over 50 years. Spain and Portugal hit 44 degrees Celsius. That's 111 degrees Fahrenheit. In France, 49 out of 96 regions are on red alert. Schools are closed, public events canceled. And in the UK, they just broke their hottest June record, a record that hadn't been touched since 1976. But here's where it gets devastating. At least 18 people are dead in France alone, including 2 children, a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old found unconscious in a hot car. They couldn't be saved. In Paris, cardiac arrest jumped from 10 a day to 44 in just 24 hours. 50,000 homes lost power, nuclear plants shut down. The Uffizi Museum in Florence closed because the air conditioning crashed the power grid. Scientists have one answer for all of this: climate change. Europe is the fastest warming continent on Earth, and what used to be a rare event is now happening every single summer. This is not normal. This is a crisis. Stay informed. Share this, because the next heat wave is already being forecast.
Genesis 19:24. Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. And he overthrew those cities and all the plain and all the inhabitants of the cities and that which grew upon the ground. But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. Before we get started, I want to give all praises, all glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who are preaching and teaching this truth with humility and sincerity across the 4 winds of the world, to you so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indigenous of the Americas, and the Israelite stranger that has been scattered across the 4 winds, that look like those from other nations and speak the language of those other nations, but their lineage also goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob as well. Okay, as you got done seeing that video, don't have the title of this lesson today, but it is concerning all the judgment that the Lord has been bringing upon the earth. Okay, here recently in Venezuela, those earthquakes that not only happened in Venezuela, but also happened in, I believe they said some actually happened in Mexico as well a couple of days ago. Within that same 24-hour period, it happened in other countries across the world. Okay, so the Lord is bringing hardcore judgment. Okay, we do understand and know through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai that we are in Jacob's trouble. And as we see, Jacob's trouble is increasing. The level of judgment has been real clear and evident that the Lord is had enough, and the Lord is going to continue to increase this judgment. So this is why you have to take heed. You have to repent. You have to call on the true name of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, because that is the only true power. Okay, this is the only true doctrine, Salakia, the true doctrine, and it comes with that name. Okay, ain't no other way. You know what I'm saying? Those other fake idols, fake names, they have a vibration of falsity, man. They have a vibration of prophecy deceits. Okay, for the longest, they've always taught that the Lord just loves. Absolutely not. I just got done reading right here, Genesis 19, the story of Lot. And if you know the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, which, by the way, the Hebrew Israelites, beginning with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, have always taught, this is spiritual Babylon, spiritual Sodom, and spiritual Egypt. Okay, look what he did to Sodom and Gomorrah back in the days. Completely destroyed it with fire and brimstone, right? Completely wiped out that whole Sodom and Gomorrah, right? And only saved Lot and his 2 daughters. Okay? So just like here, we just got done reading Genesis 19:26. But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt, Salakia. And just like this lady, his wife looked back out of a fear. Let me get a little bit of water, Salakia. Out of fear, and the opposite of faith is fear, man. The woman didn't have no faith, She was emotional and looked back. And this is what is going to happen to everyone that doesn't have the breath, the Holy Spirit, to be able to receive this gospel, to be able to have the faith, to be able to endure even in the moment of escape. Here it is. She was on her way to be free and escape from the hardcore judgment of the wrath of the Lord. And she was still in fear. She still lacked faith and looked back. And the angels had warned her, man. And just like these people that are going through the judgment right now, we have to be humble, right? We have to be meek and take heed, man. And let that serve as an example of what the Lord could do potentially in your area where you live at, right? A lot of people are thinking, oh, that's over there. We don't have those fault lines, or we there's not a lot of drilling where we're at. There's not all that, stuff going on, but it don't matter. Okay, when the Lord wants to bring judgment on a piece of land where he feels it's worthy to destroy all the wickedness that's going on in that land, he will do it, man. Just like he did it to Sodom, just like he did it to Egypt. Babylon, and and so forth, man. He's going to do it, man. Okay, he didn't see anybody worthy. There was so much um, sinful acts going on in Sodom and Gomorrah. So much disgusting transgressions. Even if you read the whole chapter, Genesis 19, it talks about how these men, at that time, that whole, fruity spirit was going on over there at that time as well. Okay, there's nothing new under the sun. All these wicked spirits from back then are alive and breathing here today, getting ready to receive their hardcore judgment. We seen what happened over there in Venezuela, and a bunch of people there, I'm sure, don't know the true name, don't have this 100% true gospel, and some of them probably had really haughty spirits, right? Real prideful spirit. And this is what the Lord's getting ready to do, man. Okay, we just got done seeing that video here, giving warnings of those heat domes, man. 2 huge heat domes are going to be, present in the day of the 4th, man. We have to take heed and be careful and be cautious, man. Take covering, avoid being outside or anything. Ain't no telling what kind of judgment the Lord could bring on Babylon over here, man. Ain't no telling, man. Okay, this ain't the time to just, look at other people nonchalant with that prideful spirit. The Lord's going to get those individuals, man. Okay, the Lord's only looking for his elect men. Okay, the people that are the men and women who are sincere with this 100% true gospel. That is it, man. Right? As you saw here, Lot's wife, she couldn't help it, man. She looked back and she became a pillar of salt, man. And the angels had warned them, man. The angels had warned them, that the brimstone and fire from the Lord was coming, man. And he told them, don't look back, Now we're living those days that you cannot look back, man. Now you better lock in, man. If you get this 100% true gospel, you get the breath, you get spiritually activated. There's no going back now, man. Okay, you're gonna end up like Lot's wife. There's no going back. And if you happen to go back and you think it's all good, man, they're just the Lord's just preserving you for that day that came to Sodom and Gomorrah, man. And if you read the story, it was a day like every other day. I mean, it was a beautiful day, normal days. People were marrying. People were doing their everyday lives, till hardcore judgment came. Just like I'm sure in Venezuela, people were, doing their daily task, doing their abominations every day. Some people just living their lives, but that's not going to be enough, man. Just being a everyday law-abiding citizen is not gonna exempt you from judgment. Okay, this is where a lot of people go wrong. Okay, you're law-abiding because you're forced to be law-abiding to the wicked heathen empire, that government that has dominion over you. Okay, this is why you are law-abiding. Okay, but you don't keep that same energy with the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, which here soon will be reigning over the whole world. Okay, the Lord ain't coming back all passive, on a donkey this time, like he did last time. He's coming in all his glory, man. He's coming with pure fury and judgment to slay the wicked from the earth, man. And he's only coming to save his elect, his 144,000, man, from the 12 tribes of the Israelites. Okay, let's get going over here. Pillar of salt is what's gonna be the final destination for a lot of people, man. Okay, they don't have the faith. They don't even have the true name. Okay? Let's go here to Genesis 19 and 15. And when the morning arose, then the angels hastened Lot, saying, Arise, take thy wife and thy 2 daughters which are here, lest thou be consumed in iniquity of the city. Okay, you see, this is they understand and know, the importance of staying away from wicked, evil, abominable people like that, man. That have a spirit of wickedness, man, and just full of blasphemy and abomination, man. It says, lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of the city, man. Okay, there was so much iniquity going on at that time, man. It was everywhere, man. If you read the chapter, you go in, I can't go into all of it, but I'm going to hit a couple key points. There was men trying to get with the angels that came to warn Lot. Okay? This is how vile, this is how much of iniquity was going on at that time, man. Okay, that to the point where Lot had offered his 2 daughters to these men. Okay, because they hadn't been with a man, and they were probably seeking a man, and that just gives you a glimpse into how much degenerate behavior was going on, that the vast majority of men probably didn't care for women, dude. Imagine that men are offering like their daughters, dude, because out of desperation, just like it says in Isaiah 4:1, those days are gonna come back, man. Because, that's gonna come back, Isaiah 4:1, because of the lack of resources. There's gonna be so much economic disaster, so much killings and murdering, that women are going to be trying to cleave onto a man, to a strong tower. You know what I mean? We know that Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is that strong tower. So they'll be cleaving into that man who is a God-fearing man. Okay, they will know, man. They will be spiritually activated at that day to know that when they came into a presence of the man of the Lord, man, it is something that you're starting to see already. They come into a presence of people, and they could feel their spirit, that they're in the presence of somebody that the Lord has activated spiritually, man. Okay, and this is what's getting ready to happen, man. All hell's about to break loose, man. The economy is already getting real bad, as you heard through some news that over there in Venezuela too, that luckily the power outage where they were continuing their drilling and stuff didn't go out. I'm sure they got reservoirs and power plants for such emergencies. But see, these devils is business as usual, man. They're still sucking the life out of the land over there, because they said if it did stop, that's going to cause a major economic disaster, because that's going to cause more urgency, and to have petroleum, meaning the lack of resources, means that the prices are going to go higher. That's what that means. Okay, so if they can't produce a certain amount of numbers, which whatever that number, I think 1.2 billions or whatever barrels they do, if they can't produce that same number, they could only produce half of it because of the power not being sufficient for them to continue working and extracting petroleum from the ground. Then that's going to cause the prices to go up, man. Okay, we're already in a bad economy and an inflation, right? It's about to get even worse, man, if that shit happens, I believe we got really lucky that it didn't hit one of those plants over there where they needed to be able to extract, because you think gas prices are high now, it'll get ridiculously crazy, man. And that is what runs a lot of the economy, man. That's one of the major components of the supply chain. Okay, one of the main components is to bring. You can't get no supplies if you got a supply chain. You can't get all the resources that people need for their everyday lives. So because they ain't got the petroleum to be spending gas left and right here and there. Everything's just it affects the whole supply chain, from the drivers to people getting to work. Everything just becomes way more expensive, So this is what's coming, man. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is done with these proudful countries and nations, man. And as the king is the people, man. Let's continue here. Genesis 19:17, and it came to pass when they had brought them forth abroad, that he said, escape for thy life. Look not behind thee, neither stay thou in all the plain. Escape to the mountain, lest thou be consumed. Okay, this is when the angels was warning Lot, and his wife and so forth. He told them, escape for thy life. Look not behind thee. See, he warned them. He told them, hey, don't look back, man. And this is what we need to do, man, is not look back. Okay? Don't get distracted by the bullshit and nonsense of the world, because all this shit at the end of the day is pure nonsense, man. We're living in a very weird matrix here, man. If I'm trying to find a word, but yeah, if I could explain it in a certain way, because real life ain't supposed to be like this, man. Of course, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai has activated the men to have this spiritual understanding that this shit is not normal. Okay, this lifestyle, living, eating this abominable foods, extracting the petroleum of the earth, spraying chemicals in the air. This shit is not normal, man. This is not the normal way to live life, okay? The Lord designed everything with pure perfection, man. Okay, and the seventh day he rested, and the number 7 symbolizes perfection, man. It's a holy number, okay? Everything the Lord touches is holy, okay? It's perfect, man, okay? But you got Esau, Edom over here tampering with all types of shit, man. And people are wondering why things are happening, and he goes above and beyond that and creates freaking weapons of destruction, weapons to manipulate the weather, to bring havoc on the world, man. He is the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. Okay, he is Esau, Edom, man, the Edomites. Okay, but the angels had told Lot, man, and his wife, do not look back. All right, look not behind thee, neither stay thou in all the plain. Escape to the mountain, lest thou be consumed. Let's go to here to 19. Behold, now thy servant hath found grace in thy sight, and thou hast magnified thy mercy, man. Okay, the only way you got to be a man of the Lord, man. Okay, the elect man will have their mercy magnified, man. The Lord is going to magnify their mercy, man. And this is how you know is Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, because he magnified the mercy of Lot and Abraham. He magnified that mercy, man. It was clear as day. It was evident that it was the Lord behind all of this, to the point where such a magnified mercy he gave towards Lot that he sent his own angels out there to escape the wrath of the Lord, man. It's a beautiful thing when you're a hopeful elect, which thou hast showed unto me in saving my life. And I cannot escape to the mountain, lest some evil take me and I die. He was afraid, man. He was freaking out, Told him all these people about to get wiped out, man. And he already knew what time it was. He knew for a fact that these angels weren't playing. He told them, hey, we're about to slay everybody. Every single living creature is about to get unalived here in a couple, whatever, hours or so. And if your ass don't get out of here and listen to the Lord, you're done. And same way the angels are bringing that message to Lot, same are his elect men bringing this continuously 100% true gospel to the four winds of the world via internet, man. Okay, and those people that run into this video and just skip it nonchalant, or run into them brothers in the camps in the corners, you know, and take no heed, man, and could care less, and you know, there's not going to be an excuse, man. You know, there's not going to be an excuse of you to have the magnifying mercy that Lot received, man. Okay, that magnifying mercy, only the elect are going to receive that, man. That is it, man. That's a beautiful magnified mercy of the grace of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, man. That without a single doubt in anybody's mind, people will know that day who are the hopeful elect, man. Because ain't no way, imagine, how could have Lot has ever, ain't no way Lot could have ever escaped from that situation, man. Nobody else did, you know. That's like over there in Venezuela, man. You know, the people that were hit in that very same spot or whatever, only the Lord has the power to have some people survive, man. Other than that, everybody else will be consumed, man. Okay? In this case, you know, spiritual Babylon is going to receive that woe number 3, man. We'll get into that here in a second. But, you know, there's no way that you're going to escape the wrath of the Lord, man. Okay? There is no way, man. I wanted to get this probably going to end it with this one. So just like Sodom and Gomorrah, Egypt, spiritual Babylon here, it's got his judgment that's been measured. He's been weighed under the balance. You know, the Lord has measured the judgment for all these wicked empires, man. And their day will come, man. And we are close. We are very close. Let's get this one, 2 Peter 3:10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat, and the earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. Okay? This was getting ready to happen here to spiritual Babylon, man. On the day of the Lord, man. But all this must come to pass first, man. The labor pains. You know, Jacob's trouble is increasing. You're seeing the judgment of the Lord across the four winds of the world, man. Bringing earthquakes, bringing heat waves, and so forth, man. Hey, you have to pray and repent, man. And hearken into this 100% true gospel. Because when the moment of judgment comes, man, you're found with some strong faith, man. And Yahweh willing, you could be magnified with mercy, man. Like Lot was, man. Look at Lot, man. He got magnified with mercy, man. Let's get that real quick. That was the spirit, because I didn't really think about harping on that word, but that's he got magnified, man. Hebrews, Gadol is the Hebrews transliteration for magnified. To grow, to become great or important, promote, make powerful, praise, magnify, do great things. To make great, to magnify, to do great things, man. And what a great thing he did for Lot, right? Magnifying, great, grow, nourish up. Okay, let's look at the Strong's definitions here. in various senses, as in body, mind, estate, or honor. Also in pride, boast, bring up, exceed. Okay. He magnified, man. He magnified Lot. Lot's it says here, magnifying his Lot's mercy, man. Lord willing, we're part of that elect, man. And you know, we get magnified with mercy, man. By Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, man. That is the only way. You know, at that time, at that moment, it's going to be too late for so many people, man. They're going to be like Lot's wife, man. They're going to be scared shitless, man, because they never really had faith, man. She was around a very righteous, God-fearing man. Lot. You know, you're seeing so many stories of people around prophets, family members, and so forth, and they were consumed by the judgment of the Lord, man, by the wrath of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, man. And you know, they were right next to them, man, and straight up just being family or a loved one of those prophets, man. You know, and they still got the wrath of the Lord, man. That says a lot, man. Okay, the Lord is not playing around, man. He's not playing around. You can't fake this, man. You know, she looked back. Who knows why she looked back? And some people, they have that mindset, man. You know, they have the mindset of looking back into this world and seeing that, hearing the warnings, hearing the warnings of the men of the Lord, man, about that the destruction is coming, and they don't want to take heed, man. They are looking back. They're looking like, nah, man. They're looking back at all the so-called good times they've had, how prosperous they were at one point. See, that's all garbage, man. Those are illusions. And if you get caught up looking back at that shit, you're going to be consumed away with the bullshit, stuff of the world, man. Okay? That all that shit, materialistic shit is garbage. You know, all this is going to be wiped away, man. So you can't be like Lot's wife, man, looking back to wondering and thinking, oh, well, what about my home and my career? That's just, you're putting your faith in nonsense, man, and stuff of the world. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and end with that. Before I go, I want to give all praises, all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who are preaching and teaching this truth. Shalom to the 144,000.